Hi guys, so recently I came across an artist who made all the NBA logo designs into flags, and these are based off the city and state flags that the team plays in. So let's take a look. So for the Atlanta Hawks, this flag actually uses an old school Hawks logo as the main part, which is resembling like I guess the eagle from the Atlanta flag. And I really like on the actual Hawks flag the background with the black triangles and the red and the bolt yellow, which is obviously their team colors. It's a very cool flag. I do like in the background how they added parts of the actual Atlanta flag with the lines in the background. It does really resemble the flag, so it's pretty accurate, but I think it's a little bit more modernized, which makes sense because it's a newly released piece of art, but it's very cool and I really like the colors of this. For the Boston Celtics, this design doesn't have anything to do with the actual Celtics basketball team, but it does feature the port of Boston, which is really similar to the actual Boston flag. And around the Boston Celtics flag, it doesn't really have the words that the actual Boston flag has, but in the middle of it, it says Boston Celtics and it says the year that they were founded, just like the actual Boston City flag. For the Brooklyn Nets, this flag doesn't actually feature the flag of New York, but rather the borough of Brooklyn, which makes sense because they play in Brooklyn, New York. This one just features Jason Kidd as the main part of this flag instead of, I guess that's a woman of some kind in the actual Brooklyn borough flag. And obviously it has to have the Brooklyn Nets colors, the black, white, and gray. The artist just featured Jason Kidd in the middle of it. And obviously around it has the borough of Brooklyn and all the words, which resemble the other flag as well. For the Charlotte Hornets, the artist based the flag around the North Carolina flag, not actually Charlotte's flag, but it does feature a hornet right between the C and the H, which is also stylized in their Hornets type of hexagon style, instead of the star and the N and C. And also up top, above that, it features the June 23rd, 1988, which is when the team was founded. And also in 2014 when the actual team that still plays, which is the franchise which currently plays in Charlotte, that's their date when they were founded. But the colors match for what the team is, and it really resembles the North Carolina flag. For the Chicago Bulls, the flag is basically the same as the actual flag for Chicago. Instead of those 4 stars just being plain, the artist decided to put just the Bulls logo on each one of those stars. He didn't really change the colors of the flag too much. So, I mean, it's pretty basic, it's pretty simple. These are weird 6 pointed stars, but there's probably a meaning to it for Chicago. So, but that's what the artist did, and this is what the flag looks like. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, the flag features the red and the blue of the Cavs colors, even though it should be like this brighter red and blue, but it makes sense for the Cavs. It also features like the shield with the Cavs C in it, and then there's like a flag and a little basketball going through a net. And then obviously it has to say Cleveland in the Cavs font. And progress and prosperity, that's I guess the slogan of the city of Cleveland. So it makes sense, it resembles the flag very much. So for the Dallas Mavericks, their flag is basically pretty similar to the city of Dallas's flag. Obviously the color is a little bit different. It has the actual Mavs colors, the dark and light blue. And the city of Dallas and the Texas part is all the same basically. But instead of the middle star being inside the circle like the actual Dallas flag, the Mavs flag has an old school Mavs logo on it, and you can tell it's an M with a basketball on it. So it's very accurate to the Dallas flag, but it has the Dallas Mavericks spin on it, so it's pretty cool, and it's a pretty good one. So for the Denver Nuggets, I really like this design of the flag. It has the 2 Denver mountains from one of their older logos, and it also has the actual current one. I believe they actually recently changed their logo again. But the logo for the Denver Nuggets is right in the middle as the sun for the actual Denver flag. And the city of Denver's flag just has the red mountains with a yellow sun. It's very basic. And the Denver Nuggets flag really resembles it, and it's very accurate and looks very good. The Detroit Pistons flag is once again very busy. Just like the actual flag of Detroit, this flag has a lot of stuff onto it. The actual flag of Detroit has a bunch of stars, stripes, some cats I believe, or lions. And in the middle it has like their emblem with 2 women on there and the city of Detroit, Michigan, obviously. The actual Detroit Pistons flag has a bunch of P's, a bunch of small Detroit Pistons logos. On the top right, it has the old style of logo from the horse from the Pistons in the 90s. And in the middle, I believe that's like a Fort Wayne Pistons logo. Correct me if I'm wrong. but it obviously features everything that the actual Detroit flag has, and it's a pretty accurate representation of Detroit. So for the Golden State Warriors, the artist chose the flag from Oakland rather than San Francisco, even though Golden State plays for San Francisco and Oakland, or just basically the whole entire Bay Area. But for the Oakland flag, it's very basic. It's just the yellow with a green tree, and it says Oakland, and I guess that's the year that Oakland was founded or something. And in the Golden State Warriors flag, it just says Oakland instead of Golden State, which is an interesting choice. And it has just their basic logo in the middle of it, and the year that they moved to Oakland, I believe, or maybe, I don't think that's the year that the team was founded, but the year that they moved to the Bay Area, I'm guessing, the San Francisco Warriors, right? So it's a pretty simple flag, but it's pretty accurate. For the Houston Rockets, this flag is very similar to the Dallas Mavericks flag. It obviously features a star, very common in Texas, I guess, you know? The City of Houston flag is basically just very similar to the Dallas one. It's just blue with a star in the middle. And then the Houston Rockets flag is just red around with exactly the same thing. Inside of it, you can see a rocket, and inside of the City of Houston's flag, there's a train, I believe, and is that a cannon or a wheelbarrow or something? It's pretty accurate, and it resembles the City of Houston flag pretty accurately as well. The artist chose to represent the Indiana Pacers with the Indianapolis flag rather than the state of Indiana's flag, which is an interesting choice. The Indianapolis city flag features a white star in the middle of it with red around it, and then some white stripes coming out of it and the blue in the background. And in the Pacers flag, it's basically the same thing, just with a Pacers logo, and obviously has the blue and yellow colors of the actual Pacers team. For the Los Angeles Clippers, this flag is based off of the City of Los Angeles flag, and it's green, yellow, and red. And the Clippers flag has to have the Clippers colors, which is red, black, and blue. And in the middle of it, it features a shield with a bunch of different things, a lot of different moving parts. It's pretty accurate to the actual City of Los Angeles flag, so it's a pretty good representation. For the Los Angeles Lakers, because they also play in the City of Los Angeles, the same flag applies here, so the City of Los Angeles flag works for them too. Instead, for the Lakers, it obviously features the same things, basically roughly the same thing as the actual city flag, but it has the yellow, purple, and white LA Lakers colors. So it's pretty accurate and looks pretty cool. For the Memphis Grizzlies, their flag actually is based off of the Memphis City flag, which is where they play in the state of Tennessee. And their flag has the Memphis Grizzlies colors, the light bluish gray color with the dark blue, and then the yellow. And then in the middle of it has the bear claw with holding the basketball, which is one of my favorite Memphis Grizzlies logos actually. Around it has some slogans of it and says Memphis Grizzlies. And it's very accurate to the actual Memphis City flag. That one features a steamboat and says Shelby County. I guess that's where it is, Tennessee. So it's pretty accurate and it's a pretty good representation. For the Miami Heat flag, their flag actually looks a lot like the Indian flag, but that's besides the point. So for the Miami Heat, they have the Miami Heat colors of red, black, and red. And then they have a palm tree, which is very common in Miami. And it says the city of Miami-Dade County, Florida. Makes sense. It's pretty accurate to what the actual flag is. For the Milwaukee Bucks, the Milwaukee City flag is already really detailed. It's really busy. So the artist had to replicate that with the Milwaukee Bucks. So he basically just did the same thing with the ocean and the ship. And in the background, instead of that gear, he put the state of Wisconsin. And on the left, where the plant, I guess, is supposed to be, he put the actual Bucks head. So it's pretty cool. It has the Bucks colors. It's pretty accurate and looks pretty good. So for the Minnesota Timberwolves, instead of basing the flag off the Minnesota flag, the artist chose to do the Minneapolis flag, which is a major city in Minnesota. So he basically made it pretty accurate. The normal flag is just red and white. For the Timberwolves flag, he made it like this blue color with the gray. And then inside the circle, he added just a bunch of different variations of the Timberwolves logos over the years. So it's pretty accurate. It looks pretty good. For the New Orleans Pelicans, he basically just made the fleur-de-lis with a pelican on it. It's very basic. The colors are almost the same. Slight different shade of colors, but it looks pretty. I like the pelican inside the fleur-de-lis. I think it's pretty cool, and it works really well for this flag. For the New York Knicks, this flag is almost identical to the actual New York City flag. They used the same colors. I'm guessing the Knicks were based off the New York flag or something like that. But instead of those two statues in the middle of it, he used Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis. I'm guessing he made these flags before Carmelo went to OKC. But this is pretty accurate, and I like the little touches of the New York Knicks logo in the apple. Those two apples on the inside the logo. It looks pretty good. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, he basically just changed the flag colors. He added some numbers for, I believe, Russell Westbrook and some other teammates that are on the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's basically the same, just the colors are a little bit different, but it looks pretty accurate to the actual Oklahoma City flag. So for the Orlando Magic, he basically replicated the City of Orlando flag, which actually they changed recently this year, but this is the older design. So he replicated it with the magic ball and then the skyline of Orlando, which it's not really that busy, but it's a smaller city. So it's pretty accurate and has the ocean, I guess, that's represented with the blue on the bottom. For the Phoenix Suns, the flag was originally really simple. So basically he just put the Suns logo in the middle of it with some purple and orange, which is the actual Suns colors, instead of this Phoenix that the actual flag has. So it's pretty accurate. It's a little different than what I expected, but it still looks pretty good. For the Philadelphia 76ers flag, the colors don't really make sense for me. There should be a little bit more blue. I mean, I don't know why there's black really, but inside the detail, he used Dr. J, Julius Erving, and Allen Iverson as the two people next to the shield, and then he put Big Ben on top and the two different Sixers logos inside of the shield. So it looks pretty good. It looks very similar to the actual Philadelphia flag. For the Portland Trailblazers, their flag is very interesting. I think it looks really cool. Like the design just works really well for them. It's just a bunch of skid marks and then the Trailblazers logo right in the middle of it, and it really resembles the Portland flag, but the colors are obviously have to be different. But it's a very accurate representation. I think it looks really cool overall. For the Sacramento Kings, I believe this team flag is actually probably the least accurate out of all of them. Instead of using a river for the Sacramento Kings, he used a picture of Vince Carter dunking the ball, and then obviously has the Kings colors. I don't think it really looks anything like the city of Sacramento's flag, but the artist tried, and I would say this is his worst one. Now for the San Antonio Spurs, obviously you can tell that they're in Texas. I think that all the city flags that are from Texas have a star in them, which is interesting. But this one just has a spur in the middle of it with the white star and then the black and the gray on the sides. And it's very similar to the San Antonio flag, which just has the Alamo on it. Now as a bonus city flag, we have the city of Seattle. And this obviously has to be the Supersonics. You can see some jets coming out of it. And it's kind of different than what the actual city flag looks like. The colors obviously have to be the same to match the team, but it's pretty different, but I really like it a lot. The Toronto Raptors city flag is basically the same thing as the Toronto city flag, but the colors are slightly different. It's black instead of blue, and then the maple leaf, it's like in the Toronto Raptors style. It's not like a normal maple leaf like this one in Toronto, but it has like the extra spikes, so it looks pretty cool. I would like to see maybe like a Raptor somewhere, but I'm just getting picky, so it looks pretty good. For the Utah Jazz, once again the artist chose to not use the actual Utah State flag, but instead he used Salt Lake City's flag, which I guess makes sense because they play there, but they're called the Utah Jazz. So this one features the mountains, but they're in a little bit different of a design, and obviously has the Salt Lake City skyline in front of that, but the mountains are a little bit different, and the colors in the Utah Jazz flag is pretty accurate to what the team colors are. Finally, for the Washington Wizards, instead of the 3 stars at the top, he used the Washington Wizards logo, which is the Washington Monument with a star at the top of that, so it makes sense. And then the stripes are a little bit different. I can't really tell what it's supposed to be. I think that's what the jersey actually looks like, so correct me if I'm wrong on that, but the Wizards jersey actually kind of looks like this flag design, and so that's what he's trying to go with. But this one's pretty simple. There isn't much really added to it, but it looks pretty good. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Check out one of these 2 videos on screen, and in the comments section below, tell me which logo flag would be best used as the city or state's flag.